Today's video is all about the Andsky Forge 26. This is a rather large folding fat tire e-bike. It's equipped with both a torque and cadence sensor. You have the option to pick which one. It can go up to 80 miles on a single charge. It can be set as a class 1, 2, or 3 e-bike, or you can fully unlock its speed with class A mode. It has a Shimano 7-speed gear shift system, blinkers. It also features dual crown suspension, a 750 watt motor. It can carry up to 500 pounds, and all of this for under $1,000. Next up, I'm gonna test ride this bike, and if you're here for assembly, that will start somewhere in the middle of this video. I'm approaching my hill. It's at its steepest point, about a 26-degree incline. Oh yeah, that means I should probably bring this down to gear 1. I'm gonna keep it on pedal assist 5. Okie dokie. A little bit of a running start. Oh yeah. I did take it at a bit of an angle, not quite straight up, with a little bit of a running start because I'm too chicken to go just straight up. This is a very big, heavy bike, and I really don't want to tip over on it. The Forge 26 has both a torque and a cadence sensor. For all of my ride, I used it as a torque sensor because, in my opinion, it feels more like a real bike. If you don't want to use a whole lot of effort and just cruise around, cadence is the best. For a little more exercise and that feeling of a real bike, then I recommend torque. With torque, you're definitely going to be pedaling harder, and with cadence, it's easy breezy, almost no effort. Torque depends on how hard you're pedaling. It actually makes it a lot easier to pass people if you want to speed up and pass somebody. And with cadence, as long as you're pedaling, it'll just kind of maintain a speed. To switch between the two different sensors, hold down the M button. Once I get to the screen, hold down minus and the M button. And then I'm going to use the M button until I get to something that says sensor. There it is. So it looks like by default it came as a torque sensor. That's what the 1 means right here. That is torque sensor. And to bring it to cadence, I'm gonna click on the plus button. 0. 0 is cadence. Actually, I can hit both plus and minus buttons. It really doesn't matter. And then once I have it where I want it, hold down the M. I would say for off-road riding, a torque sensor is better. It's generally better because you get more control. The motor kind of matches your input, so the harder you pedal, the more it reacts, instead of like this surge that you often find with cadence sensors. So for tricky trails and hills, I would definitely go with torque. And this bike does do very well off-road because of those massive fat tires. These things are huge. They're 26 inches in diameter and 4 inches wide, and they will roll over a lot of stuff. So if there's a giant twig in your way, or maybe some roots sticking out from a tree along your trail, these tires will provide a lot of stability. And with the suspension in the front and the back, those bumps will not be as tragic as they could be if you didn't have suspension. Oh yeah, I'd say the suspension works pretty good, except don't try to do that one-handed. That was not easy. I'm gonna put it in the hardest gear to pedal in, gear 7, pedal assist 5. Let's see how fast it goes. It went just over 19 miles per hour. Now I'm gonna do throttle only, full electric mode. Caps at 19. So yeah, my max speed was only about 19 miles an hour, but that's just how it comes. Factory settings, factory default settings. There is a way to change that. I'm going to hold down the M button right here. And then once the screen changes to that, I'm gonna hold down the minus and M button at the same time until I get to this. And now hopefully you can see, it says it's a class 2 right now. So class 2 technically caps at 20 miles an hour, but I only got it to 19. Let's see which one of these buttons. I'm gonna click the plus button. There we go. Now it's a class 3. So class 3 should go up to 28 miles an hour, which is allowed in my state. So let's see if it does. Oh yeah, and then to set everything into place, I'm gonna hold down the M button. And now you can see on the main screen, it says class 3. The fastest I got it to go was 27 miles an hour as a class 3. So it actually has class 1, 2, and 3. Well, technically there is a 4th mode, but check with your local laws regarding this one. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the bike back on. So I just hold down the power button very briefly. It turns on really fast. Hold down M and minus. And here I can adjust the different classes. So right now it's on 3. Next one is A. So it'll go about 31 miles per hour. The speed is unlocked, and so is the throttle. And you'll see next up, the throttle doesn't work on all the modes. It does not work on class 1, and it does not work on class 3. But it does work on class 2 and A. So yeah, there's class 1, 2, 3, and A. The motor, which is chilling in the center of the rear wheel, is 750 watts. And in a lot of states, that technically is the max before you need a motorcycle license or driver's license. I ended up putting it back on class 2 because on class 3, watch what happens on class 3. Pedal assist 5, nothing. No throttle, no full electric mode on class 3. So I ended up putting it back on class 2. Let's put it on pedal assist 1. Watch this. Now I have full electric mode. Once again, the range will vary. It can potentially go up to 80 miles on a single charge, but that is pedal assist 1 with you pedaling. However, if you have 500 pounds on this bike, you will not get 80 miles. Range also depends on terrain, so flat paved ground will get you more mileage over tricky trails. And if you have this on full electric mode and you're just sitting there like a lump, which is my favorite way to ride, you're gonna drastically reduce that range. So according to the company, the range is gonna be somewhere between 50 and 80 miles. I love how this screen shows me what's going on. If I have the light on, there's a little icon. So the light is just controlled by a button right here. And look at that. Not also does the light appear on there, it has blinkers. The blinkers appear on there as well. So if I'm going left, look at that. It shows it on the screen. I'm gonna click right. It shows it on the screen. Only thing it's missing is the little clicky sound that a car has. That would be nice. First company that does that, oh, I'm gonna be so happy. So it is daytime. They're not super visible, but yeah, you can definitely tell. Can you definitely tell? Yeah. I'm pointing right. And then to turn that off, it works a lot better at night, by the way, obviously. You just click it again, and now it's off. One feature I didn't mention during my intro for this video is that this also has walk assist mode. To do this, all you have to do is hold down the minus button, and the bike will move slow enough where you can walk alongside it. Great feature for a heavy e-bike. The frame size on this, I don't think it says it anywhere on the bike, but it's definitely a large frame. For reference, I am 5 feet 8 inches, and this bike suits riders 5'7" to 6'5". A lot of companies say their bikes accommodate riders over 6 feet. I seriously question that, but with this one, I don't. Okie dokie, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about it. I love the size of this bike. The fat tires, they can roll over almost anything. Gives me a lot more stability this way. Yeah, I like how long this bike is because I'm a tall girl, 5'8", and this fits me perfect. There's suspension in the back, suspension in the front, which is adjustable, so I can take it off-road. And I like to go off-road. It's a fun bike. It's a really fun bike, and it folds. I mean, you probably still need a pretty big vehicle to get it in there, but it folds. I don't know if I've seen a bike this size fold. It's huge. It's a really big bike. The seat's not too bad. It's not the softest thing I've ever tried, but it's not bad. My tushy doesn't hurt. And I've gone about 10 miles. And the horn, that is a horn. That is a great horn. It's also got blinkers. Can't complain about blinkers. The only thing I can really complain about is it doesn't give me a clicky sound like a car does. No company has done that yet. Please, somebody do that. But at least it's got the little directional arrows on the screen, which is a huge pro. If they weren't there, I'd forget to turn them off. The motor engages almost instantly. Watch this. I got it on pedal assist 5. It's barely a push on the pedals and the motor kicks in. That is very responsive because a lot of times it's a quarter turn, a half turn, sometimes a full turn before that motor kicks in. It's almost instant. I'm impressed. Let's see how bad the damage is. I've gone through my entire water bottle, so it is time to head home. I'm drenched. It is an oven out here. Woo! And it's not even summer yet in Florida, so it's gonna get worse. But anyways, if you're interested in the Andsky Forge 26, I'll have a link down below in the video's description. If there's any coupon codes, they'll be down there as well. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. So this means it is cheesy outro time. Toodaloo-loo. Bye. Actually, I'm back with a little message. I might not be doing bike videos in the dead of summer. Once summer starts, which is what, June 20th? I don't know if I'm gonna do any bike videos for the rest of June, July, and August. We'll see, but it's unlikely. It's blazing. It's a frying pan. You could fry eggs on top of one of these bikes. Oh wait, before you go, let me play you a little jam. Hold on, let me grab another instrument. Okay, now it's toodaloo time. Toodaloo. If you came here for assembly, that is next. Before I begin, let's see what's in all of this stuff. A charger, mirrors. Oh, look at that. An air pump, the headlight, pedals, plastic pedals, tools, zip ties, touch-up paint, a cable for something, and the user manual, which has color pictures for assembly. Oh yeah, and lastly, in here, let's take a bag. Or if you hail from the northern part of this country, a bag. Neat. This will come in handy, especially for me when I'm out there filming, because I won't have to bring my backpack. Oh, there's something in it. A smaller bag. Bag. Cute! It's Bag Junior. Oh, it holds your phone and everything, so that'll probably go up here. We'll see if I end up using this or not. There's more. A security cable. Okay, that's it. It's just a strap for the bag. Let's go on to assembly. First, I'm gonna install the handlebars. It says to loosen this piece to flip it over this way, but it was already loose. I'm gonna line it up, straighten it out as much as I possibly can. I can always readjust this and tighten it down. And next, I gotta remove these 4 screws here and that piece that they're holding down. And now I can put the handlebars in that spot, put this piece back, and then screw those 4 screws back in. Guess while I'm here, I'm gonna position the screen where I want it and tighten it down. Next up, I'm gonna install the fender and the headlight. There's a screw here, one on the other side, and one over here. I'm gonna take all of them out. The fender goes in like this with this little metal part going in back of this part. I'm gonna take the screws, skewer the light, skewer this, and skewer the fender. I'm not gonna tighten anything down yet. I'm just gonna get these screws in, and now I can go ahead and tighten things down. To install the front wheel, I have to remove this. Then I have to loosen up all this stuff. It says to loosen it, but it might be easier just to take it all off. There's a washer with a little lip. That'll go on first, and there's a regular washer and the nuts. This is a lot easier with a second person or the bike upside down, but you're about to watch a totally different method because it's easier on my weak little buns. I straddle the wheel and then I try to lift the bike over it. Hopefully this works. Okay, the editing on that might be a little choppy because it took me several attempts. All right, she's mostly assembled. It looks more like a boy. He's mostly assembled. I still need to tighten down that front wheel, but while I got you here, I might as well put on the pedals. They're labeled right and left on the bottom. So the right one spins on there clockwise, and then the left one will go on there counterclockwise. First up is this little washer with the lip, a regular washer, nut. Same thing on both sides. Oh, now I'm gonna tighten everything down. That is very little to do for assembly. A lot of times I have to attach the rear rack. It's already on. It's a huge bike, but it does fold. Let's see if I can Let's see if my weak buns can get this to fold. I also want to take out the battery, which is right here. Oh my goodness. It folds, but boy, is it still heavy. I'm gonna kick up the kickstand before I fold this. There we go. And it stands up on its own. It's not leaning over here. Let me prove it. See, look at that. It's still fairly large. But now it can actually be taken places. Maybe, depending on the size of your trunk. The battery is in here and I'm gonna remove it. That's what the key is for. Goes underneath. And then I'm gonna twist it. And I gotta remove the key. And the battery slides out. So this is 48 volt, 20 ampere hours. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. And once again, if you're interested in the Andsky Forge 26, I'll have a link down below in the video's description.